And welcome back to Law Call tonight. We have attorney Doug Smith with us, and I'm looking here, Doug here.
There
you are, Doug. Sorry. And I'm attorney Chris Young with the law firm of Perry & Young, and Doug Smith is with Burke and Blue. We have another caller on the line. We have Shirley with a legal issue. Shirley, go ahead with your call.
Thank you. We are one of those that are still sitting in the driveway after 4 years after Michael. And my question is we have just gotten a notification of the DPR has said that our case was determined not to have enough evidence. Now, grant you, my husband and I both have supplied more than 40 pages to the Department of Professional Regulators over in Tallahassee. Is there any recourse for us to fight this? Because we had more information. They said hold on to it. Now, we just found out that the information for this was determined back in March of this year. They never sent us a letter that told us that was found that we didn't have a case. Now, for that being said, do we have a limitation on this? Do we have a recourse for the DPR going back on them? Because this guy should be in jail.
Shirley, I'm going to take a leap of faith here and assume that you're talking about a contractor here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Contractor, our first contractor on our home.
Okay.
He just up and left town in December of 20 of 19.
Okay. All right. So you have a contractor issue, and we were talking about that moments ago in the show 4 years later. Doug, what do you want to take a stab?
Yeah. Shirley, I'm taking what happened. Your insurer did pay some, and the contractor took it and ran. That's what you're saying is the long and short of your facts. Is that right?
He paid us, and we paid him.
Okay. So yeah, they've paid the contractor.
Okay. So in terms of who you're upset with, it's the contractor. Has another contractor come in to work on your house, or are you just stalled right now in that?
We were stalled by the DPR. They told us we had to wait until they decided to tell us to go to work. We couldn't wait. We had to wait for them to do something. In other words, you got to give him a chance to come back and work at the house. That took almost a year. When he didn't come back and do it, then we were allowed to go get another contractor.
So Shirley, let me jump in here with Doug on this one. The DPR is a regulatory agency, and they're trying to play nice. You're in a situation where you need to get an attorney involved, and you can always file a lawsuit against this contractor and get his attention that way and bypass the DPR. We've had several instances in Bay County, some of which we've been involved with on the Hurricane Michael fiasco with contractors, to where our state attorney actually gets involved, and our sheriff, Tommy Ford, frowns upon contractors doing unscrupulous things to people in our county. They're actually filing charges and arresting some of these individuals who are just committing right out fraud and theft. And so if I were you at this point, I would find an attorney who specializes in contractor issues with the with storm-related cases, and also contact the sheriff's office and also maybe even the state attorney's office and get the ball rolling on those fronts. The DPR, they can say what they want to. I agree with you with the fact that it gets aggravating. You got 40 pages, you're trying to do the right thing, but at this point you're dealing with someone on the other side who refuses to do the right thing, and obviously refused to do the right thing from the very onset of your issue. So if it was me, I would get an attorney involved.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris, and she shouldn't have to be living in her driveway 4 years after Hurricane Michael. And assuming the contractor didn't take all your resources, all your insurance proceeds, you need to find a competent contractor. And I don't know about you, Chris, but it's the nature of hurricanes that out-of-town contractors come in. They're not all bad. Some really are trying to do good, and they do good things. But there are some that are just in to make a buck, and they run. Yeah. And they're the ones who are the bad guys that, as Chris mentioned, Sheriff Ford and the state attorney, they're not happy with that.
And thank the Lord we have law enforcement that takes up for us. Sheriff Ford's done an amazing job. Yeah. Larry Bassford's done an amazing job at the state attorney's office. taking up for the individuals in our circuit and in Bay County.
But Shirley certainly should consult with a civil lawyer about those remedies too.
Surely there's always a good way of getting somebody's attention. That's go hiring a lawyer and sending them letters, and you will get somebody's attention at that point.
And frankly, a judgment against the contractor, then will you be able to collect it? But a judgment's a very powerful thing, because the Department of Business and Professional Regulation that you referred to, they will, if you have a judgment against them, I think they'll suspend their license. Contractor's license is one of the remedies if they don't pay up. So Shirley has some avenues still to go, but Chris is right, you should consult with a lawyer.
And it sounds like she has a lot of documentation as well.